But I want to ask Rasheed Kidwai, the fact of the matter is that for a number of years now, the place for protest has been Jantar Mantar. Why should the opposition oppose the fact that the government is not allowing them to protest, whether it's in Parliament, whether it's in other parts of Delhi? Because the designated place for protest is in Jantar Mantar. That's number one. Number two, the point that Smita Prakash is making is one day it's about how big the mouth of the lions is, the next day it's about unparliamentary words, the third day it's about Dharna and Havan. The fact is, the opposition is simply running out of issues to corner this government on.
Not really, Zaka. Zaka, I think there is a total, utter, trust deficit that exists between the ruling party and the opposition. The ruling party, somehow there is a perception as if you see the parliament, just because they're a ruling party or ruling coalition, and the entire, parliament belongs to them. A parliament is a forum that's available to each and every MP, and they're entitled to do whatever good, bad, ugly, they're entitled to do so. And it's being, done for all the time when the BJP was in opposition. So now there is because of this, the political differences have become from Matbhed to Manbhed. So there is a lot of bitterness that is there. The opposition feels, it may sound petty, but opposition thinks that, as you have narrated all the incidents, that see, they are not being called when there is something about Parliament House building, just because the opposition has been opposing Central Vista project. They are not invited for this kind of
Rasheed, one second. They were invited in December when the Bhumi Pujan of the Central Secretariat and the new Parliament building was happening. 15 opposition parties, including TMC and Congress, decided to boycott. What can you do about that?
That is what I'm saying. You look at, this is exactly the thing. Just because, you called me in December and I didn't show up, or I boycotted. So in March and in May and in July, you will keep boycotting me and you will not invite. I mean, this is school-going children kind of behavior.
Okay. Dr. Trivedi, please respond. Just because they boycotted in December, ये नहीं मानना कि मतलब वो जुलाई में नहीं आएंगे. Please respond, then I go to Dr. Shashi Panja after that, please. Yes.
Then a second thing. I would like to say there are two major events in any building or any construction. One is a Bhumi Pujan, another is a Greh Pravesh.
Yeah.
So Bhumi Pujan is there when it will be the formal inauguration. Everybody will be. अब ये आप कहें कि साहब वो एक अशोक स्तंभ लगा था, फिर आप कहें जी वो एक दूसरा नया द्वार खड़ा हुआ था, वहां पे नहीं बुलाया गया. And as far as the childish behavior and other is concerned, Rashid ji, I would like to remind, when the Farmers Act have come, entire session of Parliament was not allowed. On which issue? We were saying have discussion. They said no discussion. It is to be withdrawn immediately. When the Prime Minister announced the withdrawal, then the Parliament was installed. Then why it is being withdrawn without discussion? गजब है साहब. हम लोगों ने कहा, आप ही कह रहे थे कि बगैर डिस्कशन के विड्रॉ होना चाहिए, कोई डिस्कशन नहीं. अब जो हमने भी कहा विड्रॉ होना चाहिए, तो अब आप कह रहे नहीं अब डिस्कशन होना चाहिए. दिस शोज कि आपको प्रॉब्लम क्या है. जिसे हिंदी भाषी क्षेत्रों में कहावत होती है कि पानी पीना नहीं है, गिराना है. आप पी ना पाओ तो ढरका दो. You do not want to drink the water, you want to split the water on the table on one pretext or the other.
Okay, let me go to Dr. Shashi Panja. The fact of the matter is, Dr. Panja, that whether it is for the inauguration, I mean the national emblem that was atop the new Parliament building, where you had the Urban Development Minister, you had the leaders of the presiding officers of the two houses, Speaker, Deputy Chairperson of the Rajya Sabha. That is a separate matter. The question that's being asked is, this was a list of unparliamentary words that was done in 2009. It was updated in 2013-14. And now it's further continuing to be updated by the Lok Sabha Secretariat. Why should the opposition suddenly have a problem with what is seen as a routine updation of that list of unparliamentary words?
Zaka, finally, the bulldozer has arrived in Parliament House complex. It was the prerogative of the speakers of both houses. Well, there were rules of procedure. There is Rule 380. It was his prerogative, or his or her, to expunge if anything was objectionable. You see, even the powers of the speaker somehow, or the prudence, could not be relied upon by as per the current circular. So there are certain words. Tell me, Zaka, are they very malignant? Aren't they very innocuous? Say something like ashamed, foolish, or something like, say, corrupt, childishness, is it very malignant? And imagine a word like sexual harassment, which is so very important. Even that is banned in Parliament. Now, that cannot be used. And let us get a very clarity on it. Because here there is a compilation that these are unparliamentary. And we heard Speaker of the Lok Sabha himself saying, नहीं ये तो निकाले हैं, आपको जो कहना आप कहिए, मैं तो इसको expunge करूँगे, याद रखूँगा, ये तो मुझे तय करना है. So there is another confusion about it. And of course, looking at the patronizing attitude of the speakers who are representing BJP, I mean, we have allowed you this, so why not? Why are you grumbling today? Is this issue? Yesterday, that was that issue. Why do you come up with so many controversies?
Okay.
And Zaka, just one final point. In the monsoon sessions, due to some kind of protests within the House, certain MPs were suspended and maybe later on expelled or whatever. Okay. So they went outside. So now you are getting rid of those presents. You cannot go and protest outside near Mahatma Gandhi's statue. So where do you go? You go right outside to Jantar Mantar. I mean, is this the solution? What are we trying to shy away from?
Okay.
There are so many issues on the country
Trivedi,
which have to be discussed.
Words like ashamed, foolish, arrogant, sexual harassment, ये सब तो निजी words हैं. इसको बैन करने में क्या मतलब है, Dr. Trivedi? बताइए.
That's what I am saying. What Dr. Shashi Panja was saying. It's not confusion, man. It is deceitful act. Because it's not banned by Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. It's not banned, number one. It is being just compilation of data by not Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. It's by all the 29 state assemblies. अब मैं बोलता हूं, ये घड़ियाली आंसू छत्तीसगढ़ के ने किया है. अब आप ये बताइए, अपमान वर्ड. It is being by Punjab assembly. अब if you will not say अपमान, अगर आप ये कहेंगे दुर्व्यवहार,
आप ये कह रहे हैं कि
Dr. Panja, please, let him finish. After that, you can ask him a question. Valid, absolutely valid. Your question is valid. But after he finishes, Dr. Trivedi, khatam kijiye, please. Yeah.
The question is that this has been a reference of various words which is being expunged by persons, by the speakers of the Peethasin Adhikari or the chairpersons of the various state assemblies. One more thing, जो भी यहाँ बैठे हुए हैं सबको पता है, if anybody speaks in the house, मैं भी बोलता हूँ, next day my speech comes to me and it is asked that if you want any alteration, I want with due humility, madam, from your party or anybody else's party. ये सारे विधानसभाओं से जब हटाए गए लोकसभा से, how many MPs or MLAs have protested?
Okay.
Give me the list.
Let me ask. Okay, Dr. Panja, what is the question that you have for the ruling party, the ruling dispensation? You are saying that these words are part of Tanashahi, this, that, and all that. But fact is that these words have been updated from 2009. What's new about it?
You see, there are parliamentary procedures which says that any person who's speaking within Parliament, you should not be. You should not personally attack somebody. There should be not defamatory statements, indecent, undignified. It's there. The rules were there. Okay. Now tell me why sexual harassment cannot be mentioned. You tell me, Sudhanshu Trivedi ji, these words were done or compiled after due consultation with all state legislatures. I myself belong to the West Bengal state legislature. So it is not, you are scared. What we are trying to say is that you are not going to allow anything. And this is also unparliamentary. Speaking truth is going to be unparliamentary. I mean, how there are so many issues that
Dr. Trivedi.